Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're exposing the big con. Trump's economy is not what he promised. He said he would end inflation, bring back jobs, and make America great again. In fact, what I hear a lot is, I'm going to drill, baby, drill, which is drilling oil. However, instead, he's imposing reckless tariffs that hurt consumers, crashing the stock market, and making life harder for everyday Americans. While he's firing workers and giving Elon Musk the power to gut the government, prices are still rising. Have you checked your pocketbook lately? First, he pushed for steep tariffs on Mexico, Canada, and China. Now he's backtracking. Why? Because the market's panicked. This is the same Trump playbook. Create a crisis, act tough, then backpedal when reality really hits. So, is this just one big lie? Let's break it down. Trump ran on big promises. He said he would do the following: end inflation immediately, bring back jobs, make America wealthier than ever.
Crisis immediately, bring down interest rates and lower the cost of energy.
We're going to bring those prices way down.
A vote for Trump means your groceries will be cheaper. Groceries, cars, everything. We're going to get the prices down. Starting on day one, we will end inflation and make America affordable again.
But here's what's really happening. Inflation is still high. The stock market is on edge, and fluctuating and volatility are now inherent in the market. Massive federal layoffs, many targeting veterans, and as many of you know, a significant portion of federal workers, up to about 1/3, are veterans. Tariff threats are causing economic instability. Instead of solving problems, he's making them worse. Now, let's talk about Trump's tariff gamble and what's happening. Trump announced massive tariffs on China. More tariffs on imports like electronics, clothing, and appliances. On Mexico, imposed tariffs on goods like cars, produce, and raw materials. On Canada, high tariffs on aluminum and steel.
Tariffs 25% on Canada and 25% on Mexico, and that'll start. So they're going to have a tariff. It's going to be very costly for people to take advantage of this country. They can't come in and steal our money and steal our jobs and take our factories and take our businesses and expect not to be punished. And they're being punished by tariffs. It's a very powerful weapon.
Here's the problem. Tariffs are taxes on imports. And guess who pays for those? Who pays that tax? You, the consumer. When businesses pay for more imports, they pass the cost down to consumers. That means higher price on everything from cars to groceries to electronics. Now, you watch this, and here Fox really does a good job of explaining what tariffs are and how tariffs work.
Closer look at the tariffs imposed by President Trump today. Last year, the United States did $2.2 trillion in trade with the countries targeted: Mexico, Canada, and China. You see the dollar amounts there. President Trump insists U.S. manufacturers will be protected because tariffs will be paid by these countries. But it's not quite that simple. The so-called importer of record, the companies responsible for importing a product, are the ones that physically pay tariffs to the federal government. They are usually U.S. companies. Here, the tariffs are collected by Customs and Border Protection at 328 ports of entry across the country. That money goes to the general fund of the U.S. government, managed by the Treasury Department. Now, What happens is when someone ships something into the U.S., say they use FedEx, for example, the shipper fills out a declaration of what it is, how much it costs, and if that product is on the list for a tariff, FedEx would collect the fee where it came in and then transfer that to the U.S. Customs on site. The whole process, much more complex and complicated than the pro-tariff crowd usually describes. Now, many companies are enrolled in an electronic payment program. They have tariff fees automatically deducted from their bank accounts, and they bring products through ports of entry. The port of Laredo, for example, in Texas, is the #1 port in the nation, with $339 billion in total trade passing through just last year. Now, much of that is with Mexico, because cars and trucks are the top U.S. import from Mexico. Let's look at an example in the automotive industry. Now, 62% of Chevrolet's Silverado parts, the parts, are made in the U.S. and Canada. General Motors, for example, has assembly plants for the Silverado in Oshawa, Canada, Fort Wayne, Indiana, Flint, Michigan, Springfield, Ohio, and in Mexico. Each time something crosses the border, including thousands of individual parts and the final vehicle, a tariff is assessed and paid by the company. Now, companies obviously can choose to absorb these tariff costs. That would lead to eating into their profits, obviously. Bigger companies can try to force suppliers to lower their prices, something smaller companies really probably can't do. Or they all pass the cost on to consumers in the form of higher prices. On the international front, President Trump's tariffs quickly set off a chain reaction today. Mexico's president says she will announce retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods Sunday. Canada responded right away with plans to impose 25% tariffs on nearly $100 billion of U.S. imports. And China says it will impose additional tariffs of up to 15% on U.S. farm products on March 10th, as countries vent their frustrations over what they see as an expanding trade war.
Now, based on explanation, you see that businesses that rely on international supply chains are forced to raise prices because the government can take those tariffs. If they don't raise prices, it cuts into their bottom line. Small businesses, many of which voted for Trump, are getting squeezed. Even American manufacturers that use foreign materials are feeling the impact. Who benefits? Not working class families like you and I. As I said, those tariff proceeds go straight to the government. Now, we see the markets react, right? And Trump's tariffs flip-flop. After announcing the tariffs, the stock market immediately panicked. Investors saw trouble ahead. Businesses warned that these tariffs would destroy profits and kill jobs. Facing backlash, Trump, as he normally does, backpedaled and said he would postpone some tariffs. This is a pattern, ladies and gentlemen. Create a crisis, act tough, watch markets react negatively, and then you backpedal. The markets aren't food. Every time he does this, businesses lose confidence. Economic uncertainty kills job growth and slows down spending. This isn't strategy. It's chaos. It's recklessness. Now, what's the impact on consumers? What does it mean for you? Everyday Americans are paying a steep price for the president and his chaos. Car prices going up. Tariffs on Mexican-made auto parts mean higher car prices in the U.S. Grocery bills will increase. Mexican produce, like avocados and tomatoes, will be more expensive. Electronics will get costlier. China supplies key components for smartphones, laptops, and appliances. Tariffs mean prices, higher prices at checkout. Trump's tariffs are a tax on you. If you buy food, clothes, cars, or electronics, you will pay more. Trump claims tariffs punish other countries, but in reality, they punish American consumers. Even Trump's advisors warn that his tariffs would fuel inflations, but Trump only listens to himself and those in his inner circles. Now let's think about the DOGE experiment. Musk's war on federal workers. Trump added Elon Musk control of government efficiency.
Dollars need to be spent wisely on things that matter to the people. I mean, these things, it's just common sense. It's not draconian or radical. I think it's really just saying, let's look at each of these expenditures and say, is this actually in the best interest of the people? And if it is, it's approved. If it's not, we should think about it. The people voted for major government reform. There should be no doubt about that. That was on the campaign. The president spoke about that at every rally. The people voted for major government reform, and that's what the people are going to get. They're going to get what they voted for.
Let's think about the numbers. 100,000 federal workers fired. Don't they have families? Don't they have kids? Don't they have mortgages? Don't they have bills? Veterans at the VA fired. Didn't they go fight wars for us or serve in the army? Air traffic controllers, gone. I thought we had plane crashes more recently or near misses. Don't we need more versus less? Food inspectors laid off. You want to make us more unhealthy. You want to create an environment where we don't have confidence and trust in the food we eat. Social Security offices understaffed. You bet. Think about this. You worked all your life. You pay into the system. You retire. And your benefits are not coming on time. This is hitting everyday Americans extremely, extremely hard. Fewer VA doctors, longer wait times for veterans. Few IRS employees, delayed tax refunds for families. Fewer FAA workers, more flight delays, and possible safety risk. Musk and Trump claim this is efficiency, but cutting essential workers isn't making America great or great again. It's making it dysfunctional, and it's showing you the chaos they're creating. Is this tolerable to you? Is this what you voted for? We keep hearing that's what the people voted for. Really? I thought we voted for, or you voted for, because I'm not crying for some of you. You voted for low inflation. You voted for closed borders. You voted for, some of you, get rid of DEI, as if DEI is not about inclusiveness versus something which you're suggesting it is, which is preferential treatment.
You should be hired and promoted based on skill and competence, not race or gender. Very important. You should be hired based on merit. And the Supreme Court, in a brave and very powerful decision, has allowed us to do so. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. We have removed the poison of critical race theory from our public schools, and I signed an order making it the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
Now let's think about the DEI distraction, the con game. Trump is more focused on canceling DEI than fixing the economy. Cutting DEI won't lower your grocery bill. Blaming BLM, Black Lives Matter, won't stop inflation. Eliminating diversity programs won't create more jobs. This is a distraction. He's having a wool over your eyes. Can't you see? Are you so blind about certain things that you're not seeing the big picture? This is a distraction. While people are suffering, he's selling fake victories in the culture war, and he and his billionaire friends who have unlimited resources don't give a hoot about you and consider what you're going through and your challenges. It's all part of the con. This is the con man's big lie. He promised a booming economy, but he's crashing the markets where your 401k sit, where your pension sit, where you have invested in to try to improve your financial situation. He promised to end inflation, but his policies are making it worse. He promised to bring back jobs, but he's firing federal workers in significant numbers. He promised to put America first, but you know what he's doing? He's favoring his friend Putin in Russia over his US allies. Here's my final question to you. Was this all just one big con game? Trump promised us economic success, but what we are seeing is mismanagement, deception, and chaos. So, is Trump just another con man? Or do you still believe in the big lie? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let's keep the conversation going, because I've said this more recently. It's going to be a bump. These 4 years is going to be a bumpy ride. Peace out.